Free agency is drawing close, and it was recently reported yesterday by Brian Windhorst and was later backed up by Woj that the Phoenix Suns are engaged in talks for a trade revolving around Chris Paul. And all I have to say is yes, make this happen, Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul is the ideal player you want on this team. He is a leader of a point guard, and putting him next to Devin Booker and Deandre Ayton, jeez, it will breed nothing but good things. I want this to happen for the Suns, and I wanted this to happen months back. Also, when you look at this roster, it is a very, very young roster, with their two cornerstone pieces being very young and have not made the playoffs yet. The Suns need veterans on this team, guys who have been around the game, who has fought to get to the playoffs, and what better veteran to have on your team than Chris Paul. And he is coming off a competitive season, helped leading the OKC Thunder team to the playoffs and almost getting to the second round. Everyone was not high on this Thunder team, and they got that far. If the Suns can bring in Paul, I would do it in a heartbeat. Now, in Paul's part, it may not be the best thing ever because Paul is 35 years old. His mindset is a championship, and I don't think the Suns will be championship contenders right off the bat with Chris Paul on the team. Now, he will have the talent being next to a superstar in Devin Booker to turn this franchise into something big. But ideally for Paul, you want to be on an immediate contender and not on a team who hasn't made the playoffs in years. For the Suns, you do have to take on that big contract in Paul, and that will be a huge turnoff, and probably have to sacrifice a Ricky Rubio, who had an underrated season, Kelly Oubre, and a possible pick. Sacrificing a young guy like Kelly, who had a breakout year, and a pick may not be ideal for your team's future. But Kelly could be expendable with Mikal Bridges rising up as a player. OKC will gain a young player in Kelly, a pick, and a point guard who can help this growing team. For the Suns, you want to keep Devin Booker happy as possible and have this team competing, and making the playoffs should be the #1 priority. Because if Booker grows tired of losing and eventually wants out, that is it for the Suns, and it's back to rebuilding. Either way, this will be a competitive team with Paul, Booker, and Ayton that will be a playoff threat. And the Suns desperately need a veteran leader to help out these guys. I still think the Suns should sign more quality vets in free agency if they can. Chris Paul will push at Deandre Ayton and get the most out of him, and Ayton will get better. Every team Paul has been on, he has pushed them to be a winning team and got them to the playoffs. How I see it, this trio can compete with any team in the West. They showed a lot of growth in the bubble, and Chris Paul can accelerate that growth. But this whole thing can come down to where Paul really wants to go. If he wants to contend now, I wouldn't want to be here opting for a spot like the Bucks to contend. But if he is confident he can help push this team to be a big surprise, and he is comfortable with not being an immediate contender, then this will be the destination for him. What do you guys think? This is a huge thing if it's the Phoenix Suns getting Chris Paul. That means you are going to be a threat to make the playoffs. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Is this a good thing for the Suns? Is it a good thing for the Thunder? Let me know in the comment section below, and thank you guys for watching this video.